If you are looking to start a business that is profitable and that you can run on a full-time basis or as a side hustle, then you are at the right place. Hi, my name is Itu and you are at Biz Tea with Itu, and welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. In this video, I'm going to discuss a business that is on the rise. No, it's not yet oversaturated, but it's definitely profitable. And a lot of people are starting it because they are waking up to the business idea. So in this video, we are going to cover the business idea. We're going to cover the startup cost. We're going to cover the best locations for the business. We're going to cover what else you will need with the business. We're going to cover the challenges, the earning potential, and we're going to cover some quick tips to run the business successfully. If you're excited, as excited as I am, then let's get into today's video. So first things first, of course, the business is, voila, it is a food cart. It can be a food cart, it can be a snack cart. So the reason that this business is popular is because it has lower startup costs. It is mobile, which means that you can move it to high traffic areas or events or festivals. It is also lower risk because if one area is not doing well, or one type of business is not doing well, or one type of event where you are at is not doing well, you can look at alternatives. You don't have to sign a lease. You get to engage with customers face to face, so you get feedback very quickly. If they are not buying certain type of food, you can immediately remove it from the list. This business can be run by one person, so low overheads. You don't have to pay somebody, especially when you are still starting out. And it is easy to franchise or to duplicate. So let's get started with the first point, with the startup cost. So the startup cost in South Africa, realistically, you can look at starting this business. You can start, of course, for lower, but you're looking at 10,000 to 40,000. You can start with maybe even 5,000 rand or 6,000 rand if you are for perhaps doing a cart for sweets or savory snacks, like quick snacks, not things that you have to buy expensive food items to put in the cart. So if you're looking to maybe have a banana stand where you coat the banana with things, or you have a donut stand where you can, or a donut cart where you have different sprinkles and people choose the sprinkles, that might be cheaper to start than something that is savory, that has cheeses, that has samosas and all of those things. So you're looking at about that. So now we're going to quickly do a short breakdown of what you're going to need. So you're going to need the cart, of course, which has the basic table and umbrella, which could be around 2,000, between 2,000 to 5,000. And then you're going to need a ready-made mobile cart, which could range between 8,000 to 20,000. You are looking at spend just for the cart, like custom designs or branded cart. You might just find your own alternative and brand the cart yourself, or you could hire people to brand it for you, or you can buy a fully branded one, which is going to cost a little bit more money. So with equipment and supplies for the cart, you are looking at buying like a cooler box or a mini fridge, which costs between 2,000 to 5,000, a gas stove, which costs around 1,000 to 3.5. You're going to need utensils like tongs, pots. You're going to need serving trays, which cost between 1,000 to 2,500. Packaging, like the cups, the plates, the napkins, can cost between 1.5 to 3,000. And you can decide if you want like branding, like small signage or small banners. And Then we are going into admin and permits. So you do need some permits if you're going to sell food, which is a trader's permit, and it varies between different municipalities. So it can be around 150 to 500 rand. And then of course you need to register your business if you're going in it full time and not just doing it as a side hustle, and especially if you're going to be working with businesses or going to events where businesses are. So to register a business is about 175 to 500 rand if you're registering it yourself. And you do get the BEE certificate when you register it yourself. I'll put the link to register your business underneath. So this takes us to the second point, which is the best locations for a small cart. So for small locations, you're looking at taxi ranks or bus terminals or train station, where there's high foot traffic. And then you're also looking at outside universities, like if you're going to be selling snacks, fat cooks, chips and all of that, you're looking at business district streets, or you can go to markets and flea markets over the weekends, for especially for people that are working. So that brings in steady sales as well, but it's mainly on weekends. And then you can go to churches if they are having events, stadiums, if there's matches and community events, you can attend those. They are seasonal, but they can be profitable. And you can go to residential areas, especially near complexes or where there's busy pedestrians. So you just need to check with the area also, like there's certain areas that are prohibited, of course, but you can definitely do. So thirdly, what else will you need besides the cart? You need a portable shelter in case it's raining. So you're gonna need either a gazebo or a huge umbrella. You're going to need a flask system for hot beverages if you do offer hot beverages, or you just need a mini fridge or a cooler box to keep like your cold things in. You're going to need like basic PPE. You need to cover yourself while you're working, either an apron or gloves and all of those things. Then you're going to need cash so that you can give people change that are buying with cash, or you can also have a card reader. You might need both these days. Some people only pay with cards. And then you need to think about a way to stock your products. So you want to have more products, especially the ones that sell out very quickly. You want to have them on the side so that you can, when they finish, you have more stock. So number 4, what are some challenges that you might face with running this type of business? The first one is, of course, permit and law enforcement issues. You don't want to just park somewhere and then the Metro Police, when they come, they either give you a fine or they take your cart and your stock away. So I think it's better to go to events where companies actually want you, they call you, as a private person, or you can go to parties and show up there with your card, and obviously you've spoken to the people that are hosting the party. So you just have to look at ways that you can either not need a permit so much, or you can of course apply for a permit just in case you want to stop your cart at outside complexes and such. Secondly, there is competition for prime spots. So you have to find a nice area, and that might be difficult to find if other people are already in that area, or if other people are at the event that you want to attend. So the solution to that kind of issue is to be a niche provider. So for example, the cart that I saw, that is the banana cart, where they put all sorts of confectionery stuff on it, like sprinkles or chocolates and all of those things. It's something that is niche. It's not something that everybody else is doing. So even like with sweets, you can have different types of sweets, gourmet sweets, that not everybody is selling. Another challenge might be the weather. Like obviously if the weather is not that severe, you can still show up with your gazebo, but if it becomes too windy, it might affect your business. You might not operate on that day, so you might have to close down for the day, and obviously you're losing business and you're losing profit. Another issue might be health and hygiene issues. So you are going to have to think about not having too much stock, like we discussed. You need extra stock, but you don't want to have too much stock that ends up going off because you took too much, so you can't sell food that is not fresh anymore, because when people are not happy, they're not going to call you again, or they're not going to put you as a reference or refer you to other people as a business. So you want to make sure that your food is always fresh. Another issue that is also an issue for me is safety on the street. So when you have cash, people might try to rob you. They're looking at you. Maybe they're waiting until you knock off and they follow you. So that's something you have to think about. You can have somebody like men come and pick you up, like at least 2 guys come and pick you up every time you finish. Or if you can work with, choose safer areas instead of like just being in the street. Maybe you can just focus solely on events. I've seen people focusing solely on events, or you can focus solely on company events, or going at a company, actually standing outside a company. So that is something to think about. Now let's talk about the exciting stuff, which is the earning potential. So how much can you potentially earn with this type of business? And then the monthly profit, which is minusing the amount of money that you spent buying the material to run the card. You are looking at the profit of between 10 and 25 or 30,000 if you have one card. So the nice thing about this is that you can have more than one card. You can duplicate the card, so you can have 2-3 cards, and you can hire other people to run the cards at different locations. You brand them the same, and you're able to make more money that way. But on one card, for profit, you are looking at that amount. High margin items, you are looking at fried snacks, cold drinks, coffee, tea, sweets. And then for low margin but high volume that you're going to sell, you are looking at fruits. Like you can even have dried fruits or fruit salad and yogurt and things like that. You can see in a tub where they have like yogurt, jelly, fruits, and that type of thing. You can have chips or bread rolls or boerewors rolls, if that's the kind of cut that you want. So those are high volume. So in order to make proper profit, you need to sell a lot more of those. Quick tips for success in this type of business. Firstly, you need to start with 3 to 5 items. Don't try to have like a cart where you're selling all sorts of different things. Like if you have like the banana cart, for example, I keep referring to it because I like it. So you dip the chocolate and then people choose the type of sprinkles that they want. It's the same with ice cream. They can choose different types of ice cream, but you shouldn't have like 10 flavors, for example. Have a few. So the few also gives you an idea of what people like, so you can remove something they don't like and then purchase something that goes well with what they would, or the type of people that would buy that type of food would want. So you need to add fast selling upsells, things like sweets, lollipops, fruit cups. Like I said, those are things that sell really quickly. And like sometimes savory things, people don't like the same thing. Maybe they say the samosa is too salty, or this is too dry, or all of those things. So you want something that is simple, that will go quickly, that most people generally would like. So you need to keep prices affordable but also consistent. You don't want this month you were saying that a banana cup or ice cream or whatever, a small cup is 15 rand, and then when they hire you next time you're telling them that it's 20 rand or it's 30 rand. At least if it's like 15 rand 50. Another tip is to use branding very well. So make sure that your branding is visible, your branding is bright, and people can see it very quickly so that they can associate that with your brand, and ask about the cut they saw with the yellow thing, with the yellow banana, or with these words, or try to stand out with your branding. So build relationships with people that are around there. If you know there's managers, for example, give them your business card. If they ever throw a kiddies party, or if they are throwing a party, they can call you. So that is an opportunity to mingle. If you have enjoyed this video, please let me know, or let me know if this is a business that you are highly considering, or if you feel like, oh, the funds are not proper, or you don't have the funds yet, but you're interested in starting this business, what you would sell. And let's have a discussion in the comments. So thank you again for coming to my channel. I'm truly thankful that you have joined me, especially up until this far, and thank you for subscribing. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed and keep on minding your business and sip your tea.